Okay, hello, dear friends. Good evening. So today I came to Google and there is a video makers seminar. I do not do video editing, but I have met a lot of people who does video editing and met new people, interesting people. In front of me, a very talented young gentleman, and something that make it so interesting or make my day more productive is that I was very shy at the beginning, and he started to talk, and he has such a good way of talk. So I was thinking, making a story of life. The story of our life. Maybe you can introduce yourself. I'm talking too much.
Hello, I'm Evan Miller.
Yes. So, about yourself, your job, or something you are passionate about, and to inspire people, to share with people. Everyone has a story to tell.
Okay, well, I work as a video editor now. I went to film school. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and that's where I went to school. 4-year program there at Webster University. It was really impactful for me. I think going to Thailand for a semester there was a really big change in my life. It showed me a different way of behavior and a way of thinking about the world, and kind of opened my perspective a lot. And I was able to try a lot of new things there. And I think, that includes diet and ways of living, and it was a good experience. And I think that is something that I try to carry with me, and that helps me with my filmmaking too, because it helps me see the diversity of experience all around me, and not just try to focus on what I already know and understand, but try to be curious, ask questions, and look around.
Yeah, and just now you have showed one of your video, and I think that video is very profound, and it's such an interesting, and I feel connected. How do you make that video, or something that make you different from a corporate way of making video? You stand and make your own voice. So maybe you can tell something about your video making or passion in life.
Sure, yeah. It doesn't happen every time. Sometimes you have to find the right story, and there's not an easy way to go about it. Sometimes you just have to look at all the pieces of the puzzle and kind of think, maybe there's a different way to put these together than what you thought there was at first. And you kind of have to play around with things sometimes. I've realized that, like with writing, you don't just want to put all the information right up front. Sometimes you have to get people asking questions. I like to think that you give people A and you give people C, and then the brain puts B together, right? That people connect the dots themselves. And that's when the viewer feels like they're invested in the story. They're not just being told something, but they're allowed to connect the dots themselves. And so when you tell a story of a young girl making an invention, you show her with this strange thing, and you say, wow, I've done this thing. And you're like, what did she do? And you start asking questions, and that continues your interest forward. And as far as like why it's emotional or profound is something that I think is just related to the fact that she lost somebody, and I think that we all experience loss in our lives. It's unavoidable, and we all have those loved ones that we want to take care of and provide for. And the fact that she's figured out some way to enable a disabled person to use a computer is really amazing and surprising.
People hear this may not understand. Maybe you will narrate the story. It's interesting.
Yeah, and hopefully we can link to the video or something through as well.
May I?
Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah, the video was about a young girl, 16 years old, who invented a way to move a cursor on screen with her mind. By wearing an EEG reader, she could move a mouse around, and it's a pretty amazing technology. And the way that she came about this idea was because her great uncle was paraplegic, or had become paraplegic, and was no longer able to use any of his limbs. And so for him to communicate, with a computer was impossible. It's something that we take for granted. We think, oh, well, using a computer is not a physical thing, but to use a keyboard or the mouse is very, you need that dexterity. It's very important, and we take it for granted. I was actually just talking to somebody in here that works at the Google team, and he was saying a lot of the technology that's in iPads and iPhones actually came about as like a way to solve for accessibility, like the Siri and the OK Google sort of like speech to your computer was a way to try to solve for this accessibility. And I think it's really amazing that you think these great ideas come from struggle, that people have this pain in their life or they have this challenge and they're forced to come up with something amazing to overcome it, and that hopefully can help out a lot of other people as well.
And it is so true today, this Mark has talked. You do not have wasted effort. All our experience is our asset. It makes us becoming a more understanding, make us a better person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, every little thing that you do makes a difference. It's easy to think that no one cares, or that we're all, just a small part of the big universe. But, every little thing does matter, and it can add up. And, it's like every little action can make a difference in the big picture. And I think he was saying that having that line and doing the right thing is important, because then one person makes an example, and then 4 other people may follow along, and then it's like a domino effect, right? If I do something and then my friends start doing it, and then all the friends of my friends start doing it, and then all of a sudden you have a movement off of one person's actions. And it's hard to see that big picture initially, but I think it's good to be reminded of that.
Very interesting. I do video without editing, and sometimes I lost my train of thoughts. And it becomes actually more interesting. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I think it is interesting to just hear like something naturally come out. As an editor, a lot of times I'm cutting out the ums and the ahs and all the awkward pauses and things, but at a certain point it becomes to feel unnatural and unreal and like fake or like scripted. And nobody really listens to that. It doesn't feel like anything that you want to really tune into. So I like this live interview, no cutting. If you have the patience for it, it's worthwhile.
People will be interested. I am interested to hear people's story, and just slowly there are a lot of interesting and valuable things just by these bits and bytes coming out. Mm-hmm. It's not you think about something and prepare a speech. No, those little small things brings out a lot of your own character. Don't you agree?
I totally agree. Yeah, I know. I want to turn the camera on you now too, and make sure that we get your face in here. Because I can see some nice expression on your face as well. Nice
Let's
smile.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now you interview me.
No,
I am not good at asking questions. It's your turn to ask me questions.
Terrific. Okay. So you told me you were a teacher.
Yes.
And that you speak 3 languages. Maybe more? Is it just 3?
Habla español. My viewers, my friends knows a little bit. Yes, I speak French, I speak Chinese and English.
So what age of children are you working with?
I teach elementary school from 1st grade until 5th grade, and then middle school. Middle school is only art class, so it's a short time. Yes. So let's say from 1st grade till 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a preferred age group that you like to work with?
Each age, each group of students is different, and all have their own unique character and unique interest. You like the younger ones, they are so pure, and when they grown up, they're starting to have a debate. And especially I teach them from 1st grade until they go to 8th grade. I see them growing up. I see them from those little teeny tiny little starting thoughts becoming
Right,
it's
we're going again,
interesting,
yeah.
right? This
Yes,
is
very
so
much.
true. Yeah.
So you're saying you start from the seed
Yes.
and you get to see them grow.
And see them growing up, see their change. It's just so interesting. And you see some students has a particular strength. It's actually a weakness. For example, some students are very good at math or very good at talking or something and overcoming problem. It becomes something they have hard time to understand other people, why they have trouble, why life is not easy. So our strength is our weakness, and on the other side, our weakness could be our strength, make us better to understand other people.
I totally agree. And, so, and now I want to ask more about your teaching. And
Yeah.
you said art.
Yes.
What are important lessons that you go over with your students? Like if your students come away from the education with just one or two things, what would you like that to be?
One thing, because I say it all the time, even without I say, students have one thing ironed or locked in their heart. There is no mistake in art. One thing. And also, I encourage mistake. I am not professionally trained to be an artist. So I learned by myself and I learned through mistake. Mistake is the best teacher for us. So we learn so much the wrong way than the right way. Because we learn the wrong way, we learn how to solve the problem. And it's a double lesson. Learn something and learn to solve something. So it's more productive and it's more effective.
It reminds me of the tech saying, move quickly and break things, right?
Yeah.
Because that way you maybe learn more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you teach through like painting or drawing or
Yes.
all of these
Yes.
aspects of
Yes.
art?
Yes. So because it's elementary school, so some basic painting, art history, and different kind of art disciplines and arts and crafts, hands-on work, all these things.
And what did you do before you were a teacher? I know you told me, but
Yeah. Before I studied international law and then came to America, and I have to start my life again. So I volunteer different things, and then finally I got this job. Yeah.
how does international law play into what you do now?
So many things we have learned. We were officially trained, or we were previously trained. It actually does not apply to our life now. I do not see direct connection to it. But one friend said, you are people's ambassador. One thing you learn is to be a good person. You can represent what you need to represent, and you can represent a good thing, a good energy. Maybe this is not so
I think I understand.
to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, as a lawyer, you learn to represent your case. And
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I understand.
Now your turn.
I see a little bit of a blinking red light here that's
Okay.
warning of a
Yeah.
low battery, so
Yeah.
maybe we should wrap it up.
Okay. It's a great pleasure. Maybe let's together say
Yes, I
bye-bye
think
to
so,
our
yeah.
friends. This is such a good thing.
Yes,
Okay.
very nice to
Bye-bye.
meet you today.
Yes, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Okay.